are the Swiss. Have they got a little pack strategy going on to help Cologne? See that? Black, black, black. Of course, one of them's Noah.
Indeed. I think the International Ski Federation need to do something to make sure that the colours of these race suits are more clearly distinguishable. Certainly the Americans. And who's going at someone now?
Well, this is interesting. This is the ones coming down to the left of screen are the ones
coming into transition.
Who are going to change, and that's you lose a little bit of time. Now this is Fischer going straight out.
So he goes out there, and also
Kurt and Pearl.
Yeah, Kurt and Pearl. So that's Switzerland, two of them up there. And 52 going out there straight away as well. That's Semenov from Belarus. But here is Chernousov coming in, and look at this, is a mass change.
I bet Cologne is wishing he'd gone off with his mates and maybe got dragged around and some advantage over another 8.3.
Legkov goes out, Södergren, Chernousov, they're all through there. Sundby going through in red, 7 Legjanin going out, 24. That was Eliasson. And reasonably efficient changes. I haven't seen too many people having a problem there. And out they go on the climb. But the Swiss now have the lead. Well, Mike, that's really shaken things up.
What a turnaround. The big names are here, but further up the track. In fact, 28 seconds ahead, Remo Fischer, who didn't change his skis, has got that much of an advantage. He did go to the front just before they came in, and now he's got that 28 cushion. Kurden Perel, the fellow teammate, went with him, and he's just in there behind Remo Fischer.
So, are they bothered?
Do you know, they really don't look bothered. In fact, they look like they're not bothered at all. They look like they're just, okay, let's take it easy now.
They must assume that these guys must change next time. So they will recoup that 28 seconds. What they may give away, of course, we're now out on the 3rd rotation. We've done 16.6 kilometres. What may happen now, Mike, is the fact that they're betting on the fact these guys have got to change. So the 20-second advantage that they gained is going to be retrieved without too much trouble at the next rotation. So they can just take the coach's notes here and just make sure that they do nothing worse than maintaining pace.
It's interesting, though. Clearly the Swiss team have got something going on. Now they've looked at this. Are they going to put Fischer and Pearl, as you say, onto the faster skis next time when Dario's skis are a little slower, and help bring him round? Who knows? Certainly working together now.
Well, Kurt and Pearl was certainly to the fore in Val di Fiemme.
Well, remember, he did the mega break, the attack after 1 kilometre. He put in the major surge, which surprised everybody.
Yeah, and ended up in 32nd place.
Yeah.
So that didn't play too well.
It didn't, but I wonder if that was a strategy to shake it all up and get Cologne out front initially with Olsen.
Well, Olsen they didn't know about, because they didn't know what was in Olsen's mind. But in Cologne, yes, absolutely. Where it went wrong was Cologne falling. That was the problem. It was going right until Cologne fell. Then the plan went south.
And that's what I say. He's often had bad luck at major championships. He fell at the Olympic Games. What a pity. And he fell at the World Champs. I think he may well have stayed with Olsen. And of course, he only finished a few seconds behind him for 2nd place in the end.
But of course, Dario not only leading the World Cup, that win that he had previously in the World Championships on that first weekend in the skiathlon was his first ever World Championship title. So it wasn't all bad news for Dario Cologne, and he's pretty cool and realistic about these things. He knows that you can't win everything, you can't win every day.
When you say that's my interpretation, he is so cool. He's like Roger Federer. I've said it before, so calm, but it was interesting to see him on the start line. He was very late getting to the start line and kind of panicking getting his ski poles on. Was that them just doing final ski checks or getting a faster pair of skis?
David Hofer there wearing 20 for Italy, and then right behind him Sundby, with that point to prove. Legzanin in there as well. Look at the Russians all massing up there, the red and blue. And that's what I mean by an identifiable race suit, Mike. You can pick the Russians out really easily. And I think this combination, like the Germans have got the black with the yellow legs, and that makes them easy. It's the Americans and the Swiss who need to sort their colours out a little bit.
But I do like, David, I think this new arrangement here, where if you're going to change skis, you will be punished a little with a time deficit. So for the first time, they've made the track longer and more time-consuming to get into the change pens. And that's an experiment here. I think they might be keeping it. It's certainly making this race tactically much more interesting.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And here, little posse up front here. We've rather forgotten about the Swiss. And it's Kurt Ampel leading again.
Sorry, Semenov in there as well for Belarus in third place, 52.
Yeah, wearing a black suit, so that doesn't help us either. And Semenov there. Indeed, the suit of Belarus and the suit of the Swiss is so alike. I mean, that's something in a great pack of racers you really could do without. Anyway, he's the one wearing the red hat. And it's Kurt Ampel wearing the blue hat and wearing the black hat. That's Remo Fischer.
An interesting Kurt Ampel from Pontresina, beautiful place, and I trained there for many months and winters. And you're at altitude there, you're at 1,800 meters. We're only, what, about 100 meters above sea level here, 150. So some advantage when you train high and come to race low.
So you were staying at the Palace Hotel in St. Moritz, and then you took the bob run down to Pontresina. You took the Cresta down there and then trained.
I think I drove past the Palace Hotel once.
So Legkov and Colonia. Of course, you've not seen Northug. He's in the pack there. He's just coming up.
Where is he?
Yeah, he's just coming up. He's coming through past you. Well, where is he? He's just there. There he is.
He's got some traffic, David. He knows, and I think we know, that he's going to be up in the top 4 of this chasing pack for the points, although he's losing his 15, his 12 and his 10 extra points, unless they can catch these 3 breakaway.
Well, that's the risk, but I think actually the benefit of winning the overall is something, you know, the overall race, the 100 points for the win. That's really what's in Peder Northug's mind. And at the moment, you know, having done only 2 rotations of the 6, you know, he's got time and he can let the others close it down. But you see, Legkov is being left to do all the chasing work, and you can't actually see them in there now, because that's a Finnish racer in 4th place, I believe.
Yeah, that's Leighton, and you see, not quite able. He didn't change his skis either, but he's not been able to pull the black suits back.
Kurt Ampel, well, is this his 2 kilometers of fame in Holmenkollen, I wonder?
I like his spirit. You know, he does something different. He will try, and even if it fails, he's happy with giving it a real good try. Coached by Guri Hetland, of course. Hetland looking after the Swiss, and at 28 years of age, still looking for that elusive first ever World Cup podium. He's been close. In fact, I can remember, was it a couple of years ago that he finished 4th overall in the Tour de Ski, so he's a very decent racer in his own right. Legkov behind, well, there's Leighton in there, but Legkov is hoovering up a lot of these points. Colonia now getting an advantage on Peder Northug points. Hoffman, good points there. Colonia also, that's the 1, 2, 3, so 15, 12, 10. And you've got to think, David, when Northug's not up there, there's a reason for it, and other than well, there's 2 reasons. One, he's not having a good day. That's where I'm trying to go with it. Yeah. One, he's not having a good day, or 2, his assessment is that the race pace is all over the place, and this race will settle and he will come through again. And his wise racing head, he's probably done all the maths on all of that and said, okay, well, this thing will calm down. 6 points for Legkov. Yeah, Legkov, interesting, because Legkov, of course, as I said, there is a crystal globe for the distance
racer of the season, and Legkov 582 points, Dario Colonia 553, Polteranin 495, and Northug 471. So Legkov's in a pretty decent position to at least go for the Crystal Globe for distance. And remember, he's only third in the overall table. Colonia's got 1173, Legkov 1066, but where Colonia and Legkov can miss out badly is in that sprint coming up next Wednesday in Stockholm on the classic sprint round the Royal Palace in the Swedish capital, because neither of them are likely to score any serious points, if any points.
And the way that Petter Northug showed the world that on the Drammen, which is a harder track profile than in Stockholm, that he could double pole it on skating skis. It was a classic race, and still beat everybody else who had wax under their skis and could use their major muscle groups, the legs. He's going to be a threat for those 100 points in Stockholm.
Yeah. And again, it's an uphill finish in Stockholm as well.
Fits Petter Northug, but as I said at the start, I said if Petter Northug is not, he's never mentally fatigued maybe, but if he's not physically fatigued after the win last weekend in the over 15 kilometre, and then of course the win again on Thursday, he's got to be fatigued. On Wednesday, sorry. More so than certainly Colonia.
So the leaders now being visually chased by the pack, and you can see here what's happening. The sprint, the effect of the sprint to get some points has brought the chasing pack a little closer. And remember, these guys, is the wax under the skis running out? Do they desperately need a new set of skis? We haven't talked about waxing for today because the temperature's changed from -4 early this morning, Mike, and the snow temperature was about -9 at that point, and warming up all the way through the day.
Well, that's right, and the air temperature at 0 degrees now. We're still hovering -1, -2 at various different points on the course. And it's very humid, David. It's 94% humidity with this cloud level down. So you do need quite a wide rill structure on the base of the skis, again, to prevent the suction of the damp snow or the damp, humid day.
Now, there's the gap here. This is what I love about Oslo, this terrain here. It's so testing, and this is a really good loop here. There's 8.6 kilometers, and Colonia now, actually for me, Mike, Colonia now skiing better than we've seen him at any previous point in the race. He seems to have found his rhythm now.
He does. Just information, David, 2 athletes have pulled out. 3 athletes, Perrellet from France, Renemo from Norway, and Pensinen from Finland. And
confirmation, actually, Filbrich of Germany and Polteranin of Kazakhstan did not start. So that is a big blow for Polteranin when you consider Polteranin's progress throughout the season, and the 4th best cross-country skier of the season, and a winner on no less than 4 occasions. And the last race he contested, that was in Drammen, the runner-up midweek in 2nd place there. So Polteranin, who can do distance, and they come round into the stadium here.
It's interesting that Semenov was getting restless. He's just gone into the lead. Not renowned as a big name in distance racing, but he's taking it on. He's realizing that the major pack are closing in, so he's just trying to keep them with an advantage before, I expect, they change their skis this next time into the stadium.
Yeah, it has to be, surely, for them. They can see the pack, and huge, massive crowd on the hill. Not quite as big as 2011, but a good number of folk as the leaders now drop down, and the wind picking up a little bit. It was quieter earlier on. And I think this is a really good program that the Oslo organisers have got. Remember, tomorrow we have the women's 30, and of course the 2 big ski jumping events for men and women in the afternoon. But now leading the chase here, Shurota, the bronze medalist from the skiathlon in the World Championships, behind Dario Colonia. And look at Sundby, who's not far behind. He's in third place in the chasing pack.
I was just going to say that, invisible until now, both of those big names, they haven't cared about those, they've kept level pacing. We're not even